Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
We're going to be talking about the Aquaman movie.
Ooh.
But because it's a comic book review show as well, we do comic book reviews normally here on this channel, on this show, Off the Rack. But when a comic book movie comes out, or a pop culture related movie comes out, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to.
Yeah.
But we figure since Aquaman is, kind of done in terms of its first catch.
Sure.
Everyone's seen it pretty much. Oh, you like that? We'd also talk about, but we'll talk about some comics as well.
Yeah. Why not?
If we have time, unless it's a full hour-long review, which I really don't see happening.
Hey, who knows?
That's true.
Who knows?
Yeah, the sky's the limit, or the sea.
But this,
The lowest depths of the ocean is the
that's
limit.
where that joke came from.
Thank you. It came from the trenches, if you will. The Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
I learned something from a comic book.
That, really?
Yeah.
That's where you learned about that?
Yeah, I had no idea about that. To be fair, I don't really know much about, nautical stuff. It's not on my radar.
Okay.
I can believe that. It's not on my radar. But, Aquaman by James Wan, and written by a slew of people, including Jeff Johns, James Wan, Will Beall, and David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. A lot of people worked on this movie. This is a world I never thought I would live in, and it gives more credence to the concept of, sliding. If you're not familiar with sliding, the idea being it's actually, I think, coined from that show from a while ago. But more or less the idea of, the Berenstain Bears phenomenon. How is Berenstain Bears spelled? With an A or with an E? I don't know. In fact, it turns out it's actually spelled both ways.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So that
Cam
helped
and
contribute
Jan?
to that problem. Yeah, I don't know who made
I
the
think
Bears.
it was Cam and
I have as much familiarity with who created the Berenstain Bears as I do with the with the trench in the ocean.
I'm learning all kinds of things about you today.
I know. But the concept is the people have it's called the Mandela effect.
Yes.
It's where people think that Mandela died in prison and it turns out he didn't, and it's because that's how it really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of it just being people are just misremembering,
Yeah.
because people are stupid, it's actually that you're sliding between universes. And I feel like I'm in a universe where there's an Aquaman movie,
Right.
and it wasn't made autonomously. Okay, so when I was a child, they were making movies about comic books every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like The Phantom, or The Shadow,
Right.
or Tank Girl.
Or something that didn't start with the.
Right, but I can imagine that there would be a movie called The Aquaman, and it starred nobody, and it was about nothing, and it sucked. And I could totally believe that that would have happened in 1998.
Right.
But instead, we have a movie about Aquaman where we've established Aquaman in another movie, and he was probably one of the best parts about that movie. Mm-hmm. And then this movie winds up being part of a whole franchise of superhero movies that is one of the best from that franchise.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Aquaman is the best DC movie so far. Not including, of course, ancillary movies like Superman from Chris Reeve and 1989 Batman, Batman Dark Knight.
Right.
I don't consider it to be better than Dark Knight, but that's not part of this universe. And
Right.
the DCEU, which I really don't want to use anymore. I want to call it the DCCU, the DC Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
But it's the best one. Out of a world where there was a Batman versus Superman movie that heavily adapted The Dark Knight Returns, a Man of Steel movie in which Superman actually punches a character, a Justice League movie in which we saw The Flash run fast,
Yeah.
a Suicide Squad movie in which we saw Will Smith share cameras with other people,
Right.
and Harley Quinn was cool, and I think that's it.
Wonder
Woman, I'm sorry. Herpaderp. Wonder Woman.
I'm I don't know if it's better than that. They're different, and so I think they're kind of on par with one another.
I
because
agree.
they have such different feels. So I find it difficult to say that Aquaman was
Better than Wonder
that,
Woman?
because you walk away having very different
Totally
cinematic
different experiences. I will say this. I think they're the world's finest of the DC Cinematic Universe. I really, really do think that, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, like you said, the two best. The thing from which you can spring a new franchise out of.
Sure.
Especially since, one takes place under the ocean, and the other one takes place in the past. And so, you could pretty much just start from scratch anyway. But we're not talking about, the rebuilding and restructuring of the DCEU. Right. We're talking instead about, Aquaman, the movie, and what we thought about it.
Sure.
So, let's talk about casting. How'd you feel about the casting for the Aquaman movie. We'll get into spoilers in a little bit.
Yeah. I thought it was good overall. I think a couple of actors and characters were a little wasted in this. I mean, I understand what they were doing, so cool. But like, yeah, like Black Manta.
Okay.
Just Manta.
We're just going to talk about Black Manta, like, right off the bat?
I'm going in.
Okay.
You asked me. Or you want to go first?
No. Going into the deep end. I took all the time. Please.
No, like, I love the idea of pitting Aquaman against Manta.
Yeah.
It's
Black Manta.
It's Black Manta. If you actually pit them against one another.
Right.
And so, like, I know they're setting stuff up, but it felt like they kind of sometimes forgot about that plot thread. Mm-hmm. And I was like, give that character his due. That's what it felt like. And I know they will
especially
inevitably...
since we did that in the beginning. Like, we open the conflict with Black Manta.
Yes. And I'm sure we'll get into stuff like that. But,
yeah. It's interesting how Aquaman, getting into the casting and talking about Black Manta, because I think you and I both agree about our feelings about Black Manta, which we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
But against the larger tapestry of the Aquaman movie, this felt like a fruitcake made of all these different things that you like.
Yes.
And one of them is the superhero thing, where, oh my god, I don't have enough faith in this. Let's put 2 supervillains in it.
Yeah. Now, I gotta give them credit, though, like, using Orm and the way that they used him, where it was just like, here's a villain who's just lost his way.
Right.
And I was like, that's kind of cool, because, like, what you, like, set, like Aquaman out to be is, like, not an anti-hero, but not one who's willing to spring into action in the sense that we think members of the Justice League would.
Right.
And so I think it's clever to pit him against a villain like Orm, who isn't like, I'm evil, here's my mustache.
I mean, he is pretty much, though.
He does, but then, like, by the end of it, like, they kind of solidified some other character
it's interesting because
without showing us where they come from.
Right. For me, I feel like I loved Ocean Master.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of him. Mm-hmm. I thought he was fun and engaging and complex. Like, as complex as, say, like, Whiplash from Iron Man 2. But, like, he was cool, fun, engaging, and I bought it.
Right.
I didn't find it weird.
No.
Patrick Wilson actually acts and plays the character.
And he does, and we know he can.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, exactly. A-Team.
Well,
great.
I was going to say Night Owl, he's a better actor.
No, it's true.
A-Team shows, like, his, like, I'm a villain, but, like...
But, like, who cares? Is anybody actually seeing this movie? No? All right.
Oh.
I love that movie.
I love that movie, too. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
But Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master, I loved him.
Yeah.
But for me, he was, like, a straight up, like, I want to blow up the surface world. Like, I want to attack the surface world, and I'll do anything to do it.
I feel like they're like, that's the beginning of this. But then by the end of it, they're like, there's this other thing. And I think the issue there for me is in this version of the movie or the script, they didn't give enough facts to support that along the way. Mm-hmm. And I think given a scene or two, it would have really, like, helped to strengthen those character points in him and, like, made him have a little more depth.
Yeah.
Ocean puns.
Lol. Of which there were very few, if any, in this movie, which I really respect.
I do too.
By the way.
And it gives us the opportunity
to use them all.
Yeah, exactly.
At no point, by the way, spoilers, does Aquaman ride a seahorse in this film.
No.
Just saying. Just peppering them in throughout.
No, exactly.
But, no.
Nor does he, like, ride 2 dolphins, like, simultaneously.
like water skiing?
Yeah.
No, he does not do that. I'm sorry, everybody. But, I don't know. I felt like he was a mustache-twirling supervillain. Maybe the depth in that character is, like, I want to destroy the place that, like, my lesser genetic material comes from. Like, it's an angry, like, I want to kill Aquaman. I want to kill, like, everything he comes from. But I don't really see that in his character.
Maybe I just read into it, but my
which is great, by the way. Like, like, if the movie is deep enough for characters and for viewers to say, I really got, like, a real, like, rich backstory out of this character from the performance and from the subtext, that is actually a stronger movie than if he's like, I must destroy the world from which he comes.
Right. So I like, thought that Orm's, like, a lot of his, like, impetus was because of his father's rearing.
Yeah.
And
right, he's just a dick because his father's a jerk.
right, like there is like this subtext of this movie that they kind of drop the ball on partway, but it's almost there about like fathers and sons.
Yeah, it's
Like,
almost
it's
there.
almost there, and then they just don't drive it home.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, this could have been the Tron Legacy of the DCCU, but instead, no. By the way, a lot of father stuff in the DCCU. Anyway,
But like, it's like I was like, that's kind of cool, and I kind of appreciated it. But like,
and they don't hammer it in though at all. Like they could have easily done something with Willem Dafoe's character and made him like a father allegory type character for Volko.
He's
a sage, straight up. He's just the Obi-Wan character.
He is, and like we could have seen, and this is where I think they dropped the ball, was just a Orm and like his dad, or like Orm watching his dad.
Do we even see his father in this movie? I don't think so either.
And I'm like, that's where I felt like it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
Like that I'm like, you set up this thing with Manta and his dad, Aquaman and his dad, their relationship.
And Orm is informed by his relationship with his father.
Yeah, and then we just miss that, and
we don't see that.
We're almost there.
Now maybe it was just because the movie was 2.5 hours long, and we don't have time.
Oh, absolutely. That could have been something that got put on the cutting room floor, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
But that was my subtext for Orm. I was just like, that's kind of cool.
Right.
Like, Orm is an interesting character against the like non traditional Aquaman that we're getting.
Right. Yeah, because it's. I mean, there will be Aquaman apologists who are going to be like, he's always been a badass and awesome. And it's like, actually, I will agree with you on the fact that, like, Aquaman has been a badass since, like, 1994.
Yeah.
Like, for almost 30 years, Aquaman has been a long-haired, bearded, like, badass who's overcompensating for his, like, for his Super Friends debut.
Right. And, like, I'm not even saying that, I'm not talking about the badassery or not. I'm literally talking about, like, a hero who's not like, I am a hero.
No, yeah, he's just like, no, the Aquaman, like, the Just League found me and forced me to fight Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. And, like, I don't really care. I'd rather get wasted.
Right. So, what did you think of Momoa's depiction?
I loved it. I like Jason Momoa. I've talked about this before on the channel, but, like, I like Jason Momoa in pretty much everything. I thought Conan the movie sucked, but I liked him as Conan.
Okay.
And I feel like if it would have been made by someone like Paul Verhoeven, it would have been freaking dope. If it was R-rated and he was allowed to like really like mess people up, it would have been really cool.
It wasn't R-rated?
No.
I didn't see it.
I think it was PG-13. If it wasn't, then like what were you waiting for?
That was the softest like R. Okay,
yeah, exactly. But I love Jason Momoa's portrayal of Aquaman. I kind of dug it, and it's funny because he was one of my favorite parts about Justice League, and that is because he like had joy in his heart and he cared about what he was doing.
Yes.
And he seemed to be having a good time on the screen, and it's palpable. But that's not quite a character. In this, I actually understood, or thought I understood, why he behaves certain ways and where it's coming from and how he like establishes the character.
Yeah.
And I like that. I thought he did a really good job.
What I really appreciated was how... all right, first of all, I thought Momoa, again, like you echoing what you said, did a really good job with this character. I appreciated, too, that the writers were true to him throughout the film.
Right.
It was never, like, he was never, like, convenient. You know what I mean? Like, if we conveniently need him to do something right now, he'll do it. Or we conveniently need him to know or say something, he'll say it.
Yeah.
That's not what they do. They're like...
No, when he doesn't know something, he's pretty, like, bold-faced about it.
About not knowing
I don't know anything.
Yeah, right?
I kind of like that.
I appreciate that. It's easy to take a hero character in a film, like a superhero film, and kind of make that happen sometimes.
If this were made 20 years ago, it would have been that way.
Oh, sure. But I just appreciated just how much effort went into it. Like, we get like this moment, of course, where they're on a treasure hunt. I appreciate that, first of all. We're on a treasure hunt. We're in an ocean movie, and we're on a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
Sure. I kind of like that.
Oh, it becomes like the movie... Well, that's the thing about the fruitcake, is it becomes... It's like Treasure of the Sierra Madre at one point.
I know.
And we're like, what?
Right.
By the way, I appreciated that. It was nice. I was worried after seeing Justice League.
Yeah.
Because there's a sequence where we go to Atlantis, and Atlantis, or at least that's the implication. I don't care what Zack Snyder said on some like forum or in some like alternate version of Twitter that no one uses. I'm talking about like the movie I saw. They walk up some like broken steps, and then in like a destroyed citadel in like dank, murky waters, a bunch of random dudes in armor are seemingly protecting nothing except for like a box and a spear. I was really worried that when we get to the Aquaman movie, it was just going to be this, like,
Right.
dreary, joyless, miserable place. This wasteland of, like, grossness. Which I feel like it would be if it was the ocean, since, like, we fill it with garbage.
Right.
But, like, instead, it is kind of like a Tron Legacy-esque light show and spectacle. And it's fun and beautiful. And I kind of really appreciated that, too.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say was that, so...
Oh, but I was worried that we were going to spend all our time underwater.
Right. Which, it is funny because at one point I was like, you're going to have the ocean in our Aquaman movie, right? But we go back.
I was like, I don't really care.
I like the ocean.
For me, I'm like...
I like the ocean.
I think it's pretty. Yeah, you have a real connection with the ocean a little bit, actually.
Well, I do.
Yeah, you wanted what your original career path was going to be.
Oh yeah, I wanted to be a marine biologist. I really did. But I find the ocean to be beautiful and terrifying. What I was going to say was that Aquaman has this knowledge of history, of like ancient history.
Yeah.
And he uses it, and like, that would be really easy to just be like, blah, 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 brush aside. But then, if you recall, at the beginning of the film, we see his father's lighthouse in his home, and we see some of the books that he's reading.
Yeah.
Among them, Lovecraft stands out there.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I'm not saying that that's historical, but the man's well-read.
Exactly.
So it doesn't come as a surprise that he would then pass that on to his son.
Totally.
And I was like, it's clever, and it's just barely there for you to remember if you choose to.
It's funny because the movie is about like a blunt instrument who learns to be a refined sword.
Yeah.
And yet, like, there's actual subtlety in this film, which is kind of surprising. Despite the fact that it's also like, it's not a perfect movie, but I enjoyed the hell out of all of it. Like, at no point was I like, that sucks, I don't like that. It was just kind of like, there were moments where I was like, this is cool, as opposed to like, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
The sequence, we'll talk about sequences.
Yeah, let's go back
More
to
characters.
characters.
What'd you think of Mera?
I thought she was really fun. Their relationship was different than we've seen between heroes. It's not quite, it's clearly not Lois and Clark. It's not even like Gamora and Star-Lord.
No.
I know we're crossing, companies there, but you tend to try to compare these things.
Sure, yeah.
And it was very different. There's like a harshness to their relationship. It's like mixing oil and water.
But but like those movies like Romancing the Stone, where it's like or Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
Well, there's the protagonist, and he's and the girl just thinks he's so stupid, and and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I want to see that though.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's even that, because like we watch her like learn to appreciate him as he learns to appreciate her, and again, it's a subtlety that's there, and I don't know if it was as developed as it could have been.
Right.
But I appreciate the fact that they don't come off at the end like they're like, and now we're together.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, who cares? It's fine.
Right. There was. It's funny. There is a sequence where they kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it felt a little like, we got to do this. And you know what it reminded me of? A little bit of Man of Steel. It's in the middle of a war zone.
Right.
Everyone's dying, and they're like, let's make out. And I'm like, can we?
But you know what, though? I buy it more that he would try that.
Completely. Oh, no.
Like,
Aquaman would do that. Superman's like, in the middle of kissing, we're breathing in people who have been disintegrated by all these buildings.
Yeah.
But like, but the romance, I feel like it was kind of earned. I have no complaints about it. I liked Amber Heard's portrayal of Mera.
I do.
I thought she was fun.
Yeah.
For me, her harshness, because I'm like, Mera is supposed to be harsh. Like, Mera is supposed to be like...
She's brash.
Brash, distrustful of the surface world. She hates people.
Yeah.
I like that. She's going to be a Red Lantern someday. Like, you got to have that, like, anger in there.
I agree. And I love it.
For me, I was almost like, man, she might have been a really better Lois Lane.
Oh.
Like, every time, like, she was wearing regular people clothes, I'm like, oh, damn it!
See, now...
That would have been a really rad Lois Lane.
I forgot to go back to that sequence when we're talking about sequences.
Which one?
The her wearing people clothes.
Okay.
I want to talk about that. But let's keep going with characters.
Sure.
Yeah, I think she did very well. I think that, overall, I enjoyed when they were on screen together. I liked her initial, like, arrival.
Yeah.
Where she's just in her Mera costume.
Right.
Hi.
No, and I love that because, like, they actually had the saturation up as opposed to most Zack Snyder films. So, like, she was fun looking.
Right. I don't even just mean that. I mean literally just the fact that she's like, ta-da! I am Mera. I'm not going to pretend to try to blend in. I'm not from here, and I don't want you to think I am from here. You already know I'm not, so who cares?
Exactly. She's like, I'm from a place that is way more technologically advanced. I helped you're like, this dude saved your planet or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, I get to wear my Atlantean clothes.
Yes, it's fun.
I don't think it's weird. I don't really actually know anything about your people anyway, so I don't
Yeah.
know that it's weird to not do that. Literally, you have a Superman. He wears a cape.
Yeah.
At least I'm not wearing a cape. But that's cool. Yeah, I dug her too. Red Letter Media said they had no chemistry. Do you agree?
I think they had chemistry. I think it was just it's a different type of chemistry, and I think it fits for the characters as we've seen them, especially Mera from the comic.
Right. I don't see Aquaman having like a depth of feeling for women. Like, I don't see him being like complex when it comes to his like romances.
Well, I don't know, because again, like we get the impression that his father can be, and his father is again like
he's learned and he imparts his like his belief system on him.
I think he can get to that point.
Sure.
I think right now he's at a period in his life where he's just like, man, you're hot and you're badass. I like that.
And that's like, and I buy that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, yeah, right on. And it's like, oh, and you have a personality too, and I'm down for that too, I guess.
But I think over time, like he'll soften.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So,
and then there's the rest. You know, everybody else.
Well, Willem Dafoe is excellent. The
He's
work
fine.
they did, I thought he was very good.
I thought he was
for his
fine.
character. I
Yeah.
think it was fun to see his character from The Life Aquatic continuing on.
Yeah,
under
it's
the
neat
sea
to see like his new life.
Yeah.
as Volko.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
He
no,
was-
I like the work they did on him to de-age him. I thought that was really
Yeah, it was
well
okay.
done.
Yeah,
I thought it was well done.
I think it was. It was more noticeable on Nicole Kidman, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Who also did a good job.
Actually, I thought it was more noticeable on him, which was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's I've seen him more recently, and I was just like, that is not what you look like.
Right. That's fair.
Straight up, not what you look like.
Yeah. I liked Dafoe. I thought he was like, for me, Volko could have been literally played by anybody.
Right.
That's the thing. For me, I'm like, oh, Dafoe's so good. Why Volko?
Well, I think it's nice to see him not, like, it's easy to cast him as a villain, and I think it was nice to see him not as one, but casting him as that, I think would give people who may not know where the story is going pause that he might actually be villainous.
Right, working for Ocean Master.
Yeah.
Whatnot. Yeah, that's fair.
So I thought that was kind of clever.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, it was probably just more that they wanted to get Willem Dafoe, but
I
still.
think that's exactly what it was. I liked Django Fett. I thought he did a nice job.
Right?
I hate Django Fett.
Yeah,
and
but
I think he was really good in this.
I thought he did, I thought he was very good.
This is his second DC movie, by the way. Tamura Morrison also played Abin Sur in the horrible Green Lantern film.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I loathe him in the friggin' Clone Wars.
Right.
But he's, like, it turns out it's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's George's fault.
Yeah.
But I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a nice job, humanized this character, and really made him like real.
Yeah.
And I was really worried for him because it's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna kill him? Like, you kill everybody? Like, but he was good.
Yeah.
He did a really nice job.
He did. He really did.
Yeah. So I liked him. What was it called? And there's another character who I was shocked was really, really good. And that was King Nereus.
Nereus, yeah.
Played by Dolph Lundgren.
He's incredible.
I
I
was
had
like-
no idea it was him.
I immediately recognized him.
Did not
I
know
was
it
like,
was him.
holy crap! It's Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
And actually, for the majority of my day, I was thinking about like I couldn't place his name. I
Right.
kept calling him Ivan Drago, and I'm like, God damn it! It's not Ivan Drago. It's actually a real name. And finally, I found him, and I was like, oh, like in my index of my brain, I'm like, Dolph Lundgren. Thank you. All right, and then I can enjoy the movie again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, did a great job.
He did do a really good job.
And I'm like, I really appreciate that, like, Juan gave him stuff to do. Like, it wasn't just, he needs to be big and, like, attack people. It wasn't like he was, like, an instrument of Ocean Master that, like, oh, from the depths of the sea, we're going to bring out this big dude who's going to fight Aquaman for me. Like,
Right.
easy stuff could have been obvious.
Oh, absolutely.
Instead, Dolph Lundgren, like, has stuff to do. He plays Mara's dad, and he's really, really good at it. And his performance actually has, like, real depth in it, where I'm like, is he a rube? Is he working with Ocean Master? Does he have other plans for the future or
Right.
for the surface world? It's really cool stuff, and I was like, this is a really cool movie.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
and he does a really good job with it.
Yes. Yeah, I think I agree 100%.
Thank you.
I do wish that there was a little more Black Manta to gauge his character better.
Yes.
Because I don't feel like he got a fair shake in this. He was more reactionary instead of actually being able to develop anything. They opened the movie, not open fully, but
No, but like when the action
the
starts
soft
going.
opening to the movie, as though like, oh, okay, cool, I see where you're going with this, and then they just don't give him much to do.
Well, he builds a suit that looks a lot like a Power Rangers costume. That's my problem. Because I like the Black Manta costume in the comics. And, to their credit, they made it look exactly like the one from the comics. And let me tell you something. That's too bad.
I like the look of the suit.
I thought it looked really stupid.
I don't know. I liked it.
And I'm really worried because I was like, oh, God.
I just thought, for me, I'm like, no, like, do those things. I want to see some like stuff from the comics. I want to see things accurately portrayed, and I don't know. Like I didn't have an issue with it.
No, I appreciate that they made it look exactly like the comics. I don't know what it was. There was something about it. And here's the thing. I hate like when they put texture in superhero suits and stuff. Like why not just make it smooth like it is in the comics?
Yeah.
Like Chris Reeve Superman. There's no like extra abs. That's just pure Reeve. But nothing but Reeve. You know, it's not like he's just cramping all the time in his legs. He's just wearing pants. Looks really great. But then after a certain point, they're like, all the superhero costumes have to have like texture. Manta's costume, smooth as a baby's behind.
Yeah.
It looked like it was custom made by a costume designer.
Well,
for me, because here's the thing. He's like clanging away on it and stuff like that. He's like merging. He's like, I also love the leap where they're like, here's some Atlantis technology. It works this way. And he's like, I didn't really get that like Manta knew how to reverse engineer it into a cool suit.
Okay, so let's I think that's a really good springboard from there to talk about because here's the thing. At the end of the day, I thought the movie was a lot of fun.
Right.
And I thought it was a good movie and I enjoyed it. And I'm not saying it's like the greatest movie I've ever seen of all times. It was fun. I had a really good time watching it.
Yeah.
It's so funny because it set up so many scenes and then like just like delivered it right home. When Mera lands in that wine shop, I'm like, well, she's gonna use that. Here we go.
Right.
Amazing.
And just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. Which is, and it does, and they just set it up and knocked it down. They set up so many things, not so many things. They set up several things in this that never get paid off,
right? And
then they have the opportunity to set up things that happen, and they just don't do it. We clearly have a scene with Manta and his father at the beginning of this, where like he's giving him like this old knife, right?
Yes.
And at no point in time, first of all, that knife does not really come into play the way I thought it was going to with the importance that was put upon it.
No, we spent all this time to get a close-up. It makes an annoying Xena the Warrior Princess sound effect when he picks it up. Like every sharp object does in a movie, you'll notice it every time.
Yeah.
Shing! Why did it do that?
Right,
he just picked it up. But, a lot of importance on that knife.
Like,
and he uses it exactly the way it's set up. But they don't put... It's like two different people made these two different scenes. Because, like, they don't do it. They don't pay it off the way that they set it up.
Because here's the thing.
There's no
like,
poetry
they're talking
there.
about, like, how it was his grandfather's, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, oh my god, this is Atlantean steel.
Right.
And
he's
that's
gonna,
incredible.
And he's going to say... Aquaman's going to pull a Superman, right? He's like, bring it. And it plunges into his heart, and he's like, ah!
That could be a fault of me where I made that leap in logic, but I feel like that's where the movie led me. Now, when he gives him that knife...
For me, I didn't assume it was going to be Atlantean steel, but I assumed it was going to be used.
I just did. I was just like, well, clearly it is. That's why there's a manta ray on it. Okay, cool.
But yeah, please.
But I like at that moment, all that the dad had to do was mention about like, listen, you're always, you think you're so great with your tech or like whatever. Like, here's something real,
right?
And like there in one.
Yeah,
line,
now we know how we can reverse engineer the suit, and that this knife is important and special.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good point.
Like it was right there. It was one line that could have been there to help set up his character later on.
Yeah.
It just feels like they felt like they had to have Black Manta in the film, and they weren't 100% how to set it up to make it truly work for this movie.
If they wanted the movie to be an hour and a half, no Black Manta.
Yeah.
But
that's not saying,
I'm glad he's in it.
I know, because I want Black Manta, and I want him to rise, which clearly he's going to. We all saw that coming.
Oh, yeah.
But
spoilers... There's a post-credit scene.
But I just feel like they just didn't know how to handle him in the story they were telling. And that's a shame, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Another thing that, like,
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Hang on to that, because he does use the knife.
Yes.
He uses Atlantean technology to pierce his hide so he can stab him with the knife. And it's like, oh, it's just a regular knife? And I like that he's like, I'm going to kill Aquaman with my grandfather's knife.
Yes.
Cool, okay. And they don't do a big, this is my grandfather's knife, and it was bequeathed to me by my father you killed.
Yes.
He just tries to hit him with it during the fight. I thought that was really cool. I'm like, hey, they're not holding my hand through this fight.
Right.
I noticed it. You set it up in a big way. Cool. That being said, it does nothing and it's destroyed immediately.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that, like, he's pierced. They need to use special Atlantean medicine to fix it. Like, normally you'd be fine, but he pierced your hide with Atlantean lasers, so now you have to hurt yourself. No. Like, nothing.
No, I know. I don't know. They made such a big deal about it. But here, and that's like another weird setup with the whole father-son thing that I'm talking about in this film, where it's like they spent a good portion of
Mera and her dad, nothing but father.
Well, not even just not Mera and her dad, sure, but like Manta and his dad, that whole sequence, how he becomes Manta, his dad dies, right?
Yeah.
They set up the Aquaman and his dad relationship,
right?
And I'm like, Manta's going after his dad,
right? Yeah. Like, yeah, there's other ways to hurt you, Aquaman. Like, maybe I can't pierce your hide, but I can murder your dad.
Right. Now, of course, maybe that will happen later on in the next film, but this movie set it up to happen in this movie.
And it doesn't.
And it doesn't. It
At
just
all.
Doesn't.
Now, the funny thing is, like, sometimes when you stunt cast your superfluous, like, stage characters, like, you expect them to die, because, like, Anthony Hopkins isn't going to do three Thor movies.
Right.
And really, he only did, like, 2.5. But, like, because it's Tamura Morrison or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's going to be there.
He'll be in it. He'll be in 12 Aquaman movies.
Back.
No, I'm saying they could kill him. And it wouldn't, like, either way,
so,
it wouldn't hurt anybody. Like, it would, it's like, if we keep him in the movies, we were spending another $20,000.
Yeah.
Like, if we kill him, whatever.
Right.
Like, so, it could go either way. What I'm saying is, because it's Jango Fett.
Yeah.
The tension is real, because now you don't know if they're going to kill him.
Sure, and I think
if it's Anthony Hopkins, you know they're going to kill Odin, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like when it's Jango Fett, it's like anything can happen.
Yeah, and I think they clearly decided not to go down that path in this film because they wanted the movie to end a specific way with another thing they had set up. This movie was a lot of setup,
right,
and some delivery.
Yeah, and well, okay. So at the end, Aquaman has amplified powers because he has a special trident. And he resurrects a Leviathan-type beast from the depths of the ocean.
It's a kaiju.
It's a kaiju.
It's incredible.
It's a kaiju that looks cool.
It's a kaiju that's Lovecraftian.
Yeah, which is set up in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
By the way, it looks exactly like the sea serpent that eats the slightly smaller fish in Phantom Menace. But he has this. He has this Leviathan now. I can command all the sea creatures, which means the Justice League should have no problem ever again. Oh no, it's Darkseid. Giant horrible beast comes from the depths of the ocean and has no regard for anything and everything because it's Lovecraftian. It opens a hole in the universe and comes out. I don't care. I'm not going to complain. It looked cool. I'm just saying it's funny, and let's all joke about the fact that
it's essentially like the ghosts in the Return of the King.
Well, Aragorn, you're a toolbox.
I got you one solid here.
Yeah.
So says the Kraken.
Well, exactly. The Kraken I buy. The ghost is a plot hole. The ghost release us from our spell. Go over Mordor and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Just empty Mordor
really,
and then we'll talk.
To be fair, that's really, Aragorn dropped the ball there.
He really screws up. I'm just saying. If the ghosts plow over the fields of Gondor.
No, all right. Let's get back. Let's go back to the sea.
Yes, please. Anyway,
incredible. That's an incredible scene. That whole I actually really enjoyed.
Oh, apropos Lord of the Rings, John Rhys Davies, I think, played the King Crab.
Don't call him King Crab. He's better than that.
Oh my god.
He is better than that.
It's the Brine King.
Yeah.
Is that better than King Crab?
Yes.
All right, fine.
Yes.
But I loved. I'll never tell you. I'm like, what? I guess that's fine. At least he didn't have to wear that horrible makeup.
Right.
But I love that. I'm like, well, why not? If you can get Gimli, why not have him do that?
Yeah, I mean, it was that. I thought that whole sequence was a lot of fun. I mean, I thought that was a really
Ocean Master of strong arming people scene.
No, I meant the entire battle.
Or the big Lord of the Rings battle.
I thought they did a really good job handling that amount of combat because sometimes that's difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know if the ocean helps. You know what I mean? To be able to spread it out a little more. I just thought it was really fun and nicely done.
Oh, the trench scene.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's the coolest scene in the movie. And there are a lot of like really great fun scenes. The chase scene in Italy is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's amazing about this film is that like, and there's nothing honestly wrong with this. So please don't take what I'm about to say as like.
They're going to anyway, but
As bad.
please know that it's not deliberate.
All right. This movie was really fun, and I think part of it was because it was a lot of things that we've already seen in other films put together.
Yeah.
There's honestly nothing wrong with that, because it's not like this movie was trying to pretend like it was like, and, you know, we are, you know, it's high cinema, and, like, you'll be thinking about this for, like, you know, years to come.
No.
You'll be wondering what the secret message was.
It's not like a Michael Bay movie when Michael Bay, like, has all those sweeping shots and all these important things, and you're like, it's robots punching.
They're like, here we go. We're making this movie, and we're gonna have a good time. That's
but it could have been really basic. One could have made this, like friggin' G.I. Joe 1. Or G.I. Joe 2.
Right.
Either way, but it could have been really crappy and like blandly shot. But there's real action in here that like has stakes.
But like, you know, the sequence of them running over rooftops, I've seen that before.
Oh yeah,
I've played that in games. Like,
yes,
I've done
that's Nathan Drake or whatever.
Yeah, it's Assassin's Creed. It's, you know, it's all these things.
Everything. It's everything. Uncharted. It's everything.
It's when they're in that city and like she's the redhead.
Now,
and she's you
is
know,
that what you were going to say about her outfit?
Yeah, she's got her dingle hopper basically. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it's the Little Mermaid.
Right. Yeah.
They got the song. By the way, that sequence where they suddenly started playing that kind of horrible remake of Toto's Africa made me laugh out loud. I was the only person in the theater laughing because I was like, really?
For me, I was like,
just get Toto.
Yeah. Just spend the extra $8.
Just get Toto. I don't understand.
I don't know.
But, you know, so we've seen that. The trench scene. Part of that, I was like, I saw that in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought they kind of grew on it, and that's kind of what they did. They put their own spin on it. Mm-hmm. But I'd seen a lot of these sequences before. Like, it made me very comfortable.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So
They're like,
oh,
okay, it's going to be asking a lot to make everybody go see an Aquaman movie, so let's just make the Aquaman movie a bunch of things you like.
Yeah.
Here's a little known fact, or probably it's in this community would probably be a great known fact, but like Last Crusade and most Steven Spielberg movies after like 1942, the movie, not the year, have been made by Spielberg meticulously using mostly storyboards. Mm-hmm. The tank sequence where Indy rides a tank, rides a horse to save his dad from the tank, was storyboarded before there was a script.
Yeah,
there was no story about a tank. I think he storyboarded it maybe like a movie or two before that. Mm-hmm. But he had this whole sequence already storyboarded and ready to go. And he's like, I've got this awesome tank sequence, so whenever you need it, let's do it. Like, put it in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what this movie is. Like,
I want to see this. This would be awesome.
James Wan is like, okay, I'm just going to watch all the action sequences, or all the action movies that I love.
Right,
I really, not just like everything. I'm not going to see Bad Boys 2. I'm going to see every movie that I like. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to grab every sequence that I think is really cool and then storyboard those scenes and then go, these 5 or 10 like action sequences have to happen.
Yeah.
I read a review at some point. Somebody said like every like 10 pages, someone crashes through a wall in Aquaman. And yup.
Yeah.
They sure do. And you know what? Good. Because like I like one of the reasons why I don't find Aquaman very interesting when I'm reading a comic book is I don't care about Atlantean politics. Yeah. I do not want to watch about like I'm a Spider-Man kid. I don't want to read about kings. Mm-hmm. I'm not an Arthur guy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
By the way, King Arthur, I can't like when they said King Arthur, I was like, "Oh my god." The whole goddamn thing is so dystopic. What the hell's wrong with me? How did I not do that? I don't know anything, apparently. If you ask most of our commenters, that's certainly true. But, like...
He's got to go get the legendary...
He's got to get the legendary sword out of the thing.
Now, usually King Arthur doesn't have to fight...
a giant kraken?
A beast of myth and legend. He just has to be worthy enough.
Does he even fight it? He just kind of argues with it and then, like, uses his, like... By the way, right on. Cool scene. Aquaman has the ability to talk to fish.
Right, well, it fights him for a minute.
It does.
And then he's like...
But he has like they do it and they show like the rings to illustrate his ability to like telepathically communicate with fish.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was like, good for you.
Yes. Now, okay.
Like, cool.
So
Way to own it.
I love that they do that.
Yeah.
And all right, I liked a lot of the like flashback sequences intertwined with the current movie.
Yeah.
I thought they front loaded the movie a little bit too much, almost
with exposition.
Like and I do wonder if maybe they started because it seemed like the movie should have started with the sub sequence, and I'm wondering if test audiences needed a little more.
They're like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, and so I wonder if they went back and kind of put all that at the beginning.
Right.
Maybe it was interspersed at one point.
Right.
And here's the thing. I love the sequence of, like, their family and, like, Nicole Kidman and Tamara Mowry, like, meeting.
Yes.
And, like, him, like, being a baby and all that stuff. And,
I love that. Actually, I thought it was really well acted. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that whole sequence. Regardless of wishing it was kind of broken up a little more. What I didn't buy was that we get one sequence of Arthur on a school trip.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I know you have to show everybody he's got fish powers. I got it. But, like, this is the most obvious, you need to show everybody he has fish powers, like, shot I could possibly imagine.
We don't see him as, like, a regular boy ever again.
No!
And I feel like they just
we see him training on the beach, and it's not even, like...
He's not even that age.
Yeah.
I feel like they might have just shot that for the trailer.
It could have.
And they were like, you know what? People loved that moment.
Yeah.
But let's just put it in the movie.
Right.
And that's fine. You know, it looked just as good as it did.
I kind of expected after we saw that sequence, I was like, oh, I guess we're going to get more little boy.
Right,
like,
Aquaman.
He's like, you know, being a fish out of water.
Yeah, I can see that.
But they didn't. I was just like, oh.
Right.
Okay.
No.
But again, the movie was really long. So maybe there's some sort of, like, 4-hour supercut.
I feel like there must be. Yeah, release the Aquaman cut.
It's like releasing a Kraken.
But yeah, I overall, that was a really cool movie, and I really enjoyed it. But it did feel like it was made up of a bunch of other little movies that I really enjoyed.
It did. I know the armor he gets in this is a little different from the Justice
Right.
League armor.
Now, you had a question about that. Like,
it kind of bothered me that they took the punch out of that in this film. Like,
but, like, you can't have Aquaman, like, you really could. Okay, hindsight, Justice League didn't work. So, I guess we really could have just had Aquaman, like, in jeans and a ripped shirt. In fact, probably more people would have seen it. But, like, we gotta have Aquaman in cool armor that looks exactly like Aquaman's armor. It doesn't look just like Aquaman's armor, the one in this movie.
Yeah.
This one's more comic book related.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Alternatively, he also doesn't go, well, we're going on a crazy adventure. I'd better get my Justice League armor that looks just like that armor that's in the bottom of the ocean. But he doesn't do that either. I don't care.
Right, I know. I just felt like this movie, you know, really cared about having a good time and its character. And, I didn't think it was fair that they didn't get to be like and look, it's Aquaman. I'm like, yeah,
right, like, ta-da! Like, no, we saw him ta-da earlier.
Yeah.
In a movie I didn't really enjoy.
Yeah, which was like, I was like, that's a shame.
Yes. There was one line that I remember, I was like, and I went, do we need it? And maybe, like, in a fan edit one day... They'll take it out. But there's a line where he goes, I'm not a hero, and Mera says, like, you helped stop Steppenwolf. Whole reference to Justice League.
Yeah.
It's just, you stopped Steppenwolf. Oh, like, I get we gotta reference Justice League, because, like, he literally, like, Justice League ends where he's like, I'm gonna go be an Aquaman. Like, literally, it's, like, from there to there. And I get that. But, like, did you have to reference Steppenwolf? One of the worst villains in all of comic book movie history.
She knew he was there.
I know, but
like,
she literally fought Steppenwolf. I'm just saying, but he sucked the most.
Right.
Like, out of all the things I hated about Justice League, Steppenwolf is the number one thing.
Right, which I thought was funny, and I guess the more I think about this line, the more I think that it was, like, King Nereus being like, Because initially I was just like, when he is talking to Orm, and he's just like, I hear rumblings that, like...
Yeah.
That you've got a brother.
Right? And
like,
it's like, you did? Did you hear that? Where did you hear that from?
Yeah, like, okay, first of all, there's no way you heard rumblings. He came...
Steppenwolf showed... He popped out of a box. Actually, he didn't really. He was teleported there. But Steppenwolf showed up, handed all of you your asses, and then Aquaman showed up and punched him with a trident.
Right, which I'm like, so...
That's not a rumble.
No, so, like, initially I was just like...
It is a rumble.
Are you making him an idiot? And we're just pretending like... It's fine.
I think it's just like,
or are you being like wink?
I think it's like we literally can't not reference Justice League.
Or I
thought,
let's
do as little as we can.
I wasn't sure if Nereus was also maybe like trying to undercut Orm a little bit.
Right.
Like you might want to deal with this.
Yeah, I've heard rumblings of a fishman who saved the friggin' universe. Like a year ago.
And it wasn't you.
Yeah, no. And it wasn't you. No, you did not step up and like help the Justice League punch Steppenwolf. But you know, that's fine.
You know, the movie again. I can't stop saying the movie was fun. It was fun, regardless of the fact that, like, when we're in Atlantis, it's Tron.
Fine.
I was like, it's Tron. She even saves him with her.
Yeah, with vehicle. her friggin' light cycle, like all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah.
Here's a question: if they have those,
yes,
you know, these self-propelled, technologically advanced fish ships.
Yeah.
Why do they enslave whales to move ships?
Because if you could do that, wouldn't you?
No.
Yeah.
It's also messed up that, like, they have slave whales, but right outside or within Atlantis, there are free whales. Is there a whale hierarchy going on here?
Well, it's like,
I just ask them questions. I just want to know justice for whales in Atlantis.
Listen, it's like having, like, you know, tamed horses, but there's also wild horses.
Yeah, but not as many. That's true. All right, I'll take that.
There used to be.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's
it's
like
more
the Wild West of the ocean down there, man.
Here's the thing, but our cars don't fly.
Like
horses are a niche. Like, if you have horses pulling things, you really, like, are just kind of doing it because you like horses. You're not doing it because you don't understand or believe in the internal combustion.
Listen, I came to see an Aquaman movie. I expect to see some animals helping out. I saw the Flintstones.
Yeah, all right. Integration of animals into your society. You know, maybe it's a holdover. I mean, like you said, like horses pulling carriages. It's quaint. Maybe I saw the first, like, one of those carriage rides. Maybe it's a romantic ride.
Maybe, you know, since, like, there's a hierarchy, I've got, like, this piece of hair or an eyelash, and my eyes drive me crazy right now, so I keep touching my face.
I noticed that.
Anyway, I'm going to ignore it. Just gonna ignore it. There's a hierarchy, obviously, in Atlantis. Maybe only the upper echelon has these crazy ship things.
Oh, wow, there's a class system.
And then the lower just,
they have to enslave the sea.
Yeah, you better be able to catch a whale. You can't talk to fishes.
Can they all swim really fast?
I don't know.
Why do I need them to do it at all? Can I lift things really?
I think that's also only the top tier.
All right. The internal, like, genetic politics of the Atlanteans confuses and disturbs me, but I don't care. Again, like, I don't really care. I'm just making a joke. It's like it's like when I make, like, Star Wars jokes, like, where we have a whole video where I make fun of Star Wars. I like Star Wars. I'm not saying it's stupid.
No, it's fine. It was just funny.
Right. But you know, anyway, it's fun to talk about. Ultimately, Aquaman is fun, like we've said a million times, and like everyone I've talked to has said. Like, no one says it's not fun.
Can I real quick say one other thing about, like, here was a moment where I was like, they're gonna do this. No, they're not, because I was like, you know how they're gonna take down Orm is that they're gonna find out that he's working with like a land dweller.
Yes.
I'm like,
I mean, he obviously is. He got the submarine to show up and everything.
This is gonna.
Black Manta, right? Yeah. Like, they're gonna reveal the Black Manta's conspiracy.
Yeah. No.
Well, really, the movie circumvents your expectations. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is a movie about family.
Except when it's not. But yeah,
so
it is a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing it again.
Right.
Like, I truly do. I was like, this was fun. I had a good time.
I think like, if they want to go, like, in some Marvel direction, if they wanted to make an Aquaman Wonder Woman team up movie and call it, like, The Brave and the Bold, or World's Finest, because at this point neither Superman nor Batman are fine.
Right. They can deal with Poseidon. That works.
That'd be cool. I'll take that. I'll watch that movie. That's a movie.
Them both.
Honestly, I swear to God, if there was a comic book, Wonder Woman and Aquaman fight Poseidon, I'd be like, pass. But I'll see that movie. Like, I'll watch that. 2 hours. That's fine. But, like, for me, there's hope for the DCCU from these two franchises. The real test will be Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, when it's not a period. Well,
because it's also a period piece. But again, like, if Wonder Woman 2 sucks and it's stupid, then it's like, oh, okay. Like, well, then we really have more work to do. But if you just, like, keep fruitcaking our DC movies and just go like, okay, I don't really know how to make these characters engaging and fun, but I do know how to make a movie that has fun action sequences in it. Apropos that, when I remember I was talking about, like, people bursting through walls, what the hell is up with that one go-getter Atlantean?
Right.
Who's just, we follow him for like 25 minutes. He's bursting through walls, just chasing after Mera, and you're like, all right, I get it. Like, he's on his way. After the 6th wall they burst through, I'm like, I know he's gonna show up. We don't need to keep cutting back to him.
No, I have to see it.
But, like, every agonizing moment of that one Atlantean whose name we never get, and his, like, pursuit of Mera, we are there. We are in the front row seat.
Yep.
Anyway, I feel like, even if this is the way they do it, if this is DC's or Warner Brothers' way of, like, successfully justifying making DC movies, being like, here, it's a bunch of stuff you like, but starring these characters that you also claim to like. Oh, I'm in. I'll go see that. I'll get David Fincher, and he's just gonna, like, grab scenes from horror movies that he likes, and Batman's in it. I'm in! Are you kidding me? You know, like, it's just all the scenes you like from Birthright, but it's Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Superman, but but a movie.
Right,
I'm
right,
freaking
right.
Are you kidding me? And then Shazam. And it's
Yeah.
like, and if Shazam follows the same Aquaman formula, then you're like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think Shazam's going to be its own thing, and if Shazam's successful, then we have ourselves a DCCU on our hands.
Yeah.
We can actually go forward a little bit more. And I'm excited for that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, after, like, the accepted success of Wonder Woman ever being like, hey, you know what? This movie was pretty solid. The villain sucks. The ending was stupid.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kind of dreary and miserable when you really, like...
It is World War II. Or World War One.
I get it. I'm just saying,
Two?
like,
One?
One, because
The war to end all wars.
except for the next one. But, like, I literally was on the other day, and I was like, I don't want to be here right now. Like, it was just like, oh, I don't want to be sad.
You know, I think the fundamental difference between you and me, I'm just like, yeah, make me feel things.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I was just like, ugh, like, I don't want to be dark. But, like, that, but Wonder Woman was successful. Aquaman was acceptably fun.
Yes.
And Shazam is good. And I mean just, like, it's good.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Or funny.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be, like, oh, I feel bad, the crippled kid dies. He's not going to, but I'm just saying, like, but, you know, if it's, like, if it's just funny, legitimately funny, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So, I think that we're in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm really, like, hopeful and happy about how Aquaman did. Not only that, of course, it turns out a lot of other people thought it was fun because it's, like, one of the most successful DC movies of all time.
Yeah.
More successful than Justice League, which is weird. But here's the world we live in. Again, like I slid. Like, I'm in a world where Aquaman outperformed Justice League, which stars Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I know.
But I'm in, and I'm not even tentatively. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna see Shazam. I'm like, let's do this. Shazam! Haha! Like as a term for like
Right.
for onward and upward. Like,
Exactly.
let's do this.
Right.
But I'm in. I think it was really good. And like any critiques I have, like I thought the guy who played Black Manta wasn't great. I thought he was kind of hammy.
I don't think he was given a fair opportunity.
I agree.
Because he was like,
all he had to do was like cry over his dead father and build a suit.
Yeah. So like I think clearly they're setting him up
Yeah.
for a sequel, and so like I think he'll be able to develop the character a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
In there.
I agree, and I
actually thought his dad was really fun.
I love the dad more. That's the thing. For me, I'm like, I like the dad more. Like, I thought the actor who played the dad was way better.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see that character more. Like, I'm mad you killed my dad. And by the way, Aquaman just straight up kills this guy. Like, I could lift your boat. Like, that's all I had to do. You killed that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, how messed up would that have been the other way around? And like the dad was Black Manta.
I'd be okay with that.
Right?
I'd be okay with that tenfold.
He's just like, you killed my son.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna kill your dad.
Yeah.
No, he's way more interesting. But I'm cool. But yeah, like I said, like I didn't really care for the Black Manta costume, but like these are the things where I really had like any issue, and it's like nothing where I'm like, at no point was I like, this movie is doing everything wrong. I'm sure there's a few Aquaman fans that are pretty upset. For some reason or another, but like maybe they're not. Maybe they're just like, I've been waiting forever. It's like I remember seeing Spider-Man for the first time in the theater. I'm waiting forever to see that.
Yeah.
And I'm like at no point was like, you're making a lot of mistakes. I was just like, I like when Mary Jane says I want to act, I'm like, you nailed it. The suit looks like the suit. It's got that raised silver webbing I hate. But like
you're like obsessed with that webbing.
it sucks. It's not supposed to be ribbed. But anyway, but like I said, like I loved Spider-Man so much, and I wanted to see him on screen so badly that like I'm willing to turn a blind eye to a couple of those missteps,
Right.
To see it and make it happen and have it be like genuinely entertaining and good.
Yeah.
Same deal with Aquaman. Like I can imagine there's an ocean of people who like love Aquaman who've just been like, I don't care if like the dad isn't supposed to be like this, or if they changed this or that, or like Aquaman's mom's supposed to be dead, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, and I'm really glad that everyone is on board. I'm really glad that the Aquaman show failed so badly. I don't know if you ever saw the pilot.
No.
But there was an Aquaman show on the CW, and it was just hot garbage. It was ocean garbage. It was a barge it was a flaming barge. We should have done that. We should have done a commentary of that. That's what we should have done on this channel.
Oh,
for Aquaman.
but we didn't.
Was just watching the Aquaman pilot. But I'm glad that like that was it. Like there's no because there's nothing to compare it to now. Like it's the Super Friends show, which like every time everyone's like Super Friends, that show ended 40 years ago. Like, isn't it time to like let it go? Aquaman has been more, like I said, like he's long hair, big beard, hook hand, a badass, longer than Super Friends was on TV. That being said, I bet more people saw Super Friends than read that Aquaman run.
Sure.
So ultimately, culturally speaking, that one is more impactful. But that being said, Aquaman has been a badass for so long and in so many different incarnations that now I think it's time to just let the Super Friends thing die.
Right. Okay.
Like, let it go, Robot Chicken and everyone else. So I loved it, and I really enjoyed it. I had a great time.
Yeah.
No, at no point was I like, it's Aquaman, it's happening.
No,
you know,
we were just having
but
fun.
it was just it's
just fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie. Yeah. I'd take anybody to go see this. I'd be like, hey, let's go see this. Let's go watch Aquaman.
Let's go bro out.
Yeah, let's kick back with the bros and chill. But yeah, I mean, so we want to thank you all for hanging out with us.
There were super chats.
I know we got to read the super chats, and we're gonna do some comic book stuff.
Yeah,
but not too much more because it's been an hour.
Right. Oh, but I see you might. Okay, I was like, are you gonna cut this, or what are you gonna do?
No.
Okay.
Well, I was going to, but now I have to. Mr. Roboto says, Entourage said James Cameron was going to make it. Yes, I also saw that Mr. Sunday movie video. There was a subplot in Entourage where James Cameron was going to make an Aquaman movie.
Of course he would.
I don't think it's true, but
no.
it was a fun little story.
It would if he was going to make any superhero movie, he would of course make one
no
about the ocean.
Oh, right. Oh my God, yeah. I'll bet that's why they picked James Cameron.
And he would, Aquaman would go and find the Titanic.
Yeah, and he'd cry and you'd see his Atlantean tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know. And that's actually kind of funny. But like that, by the way, the movie that they were going to make in that Entourage thing is what I would imagine they would have made an Aquaman movie of 20 years ago. Mike Hahn, good day, Tiff and Sal. Day off from work so I can finally catch a live stream again.
Ooh.
Keep up the great work. ComicPOP is still the best thing on the internet. Thank you very much.
Thank you
I'm
so
glad
much.
we've remained the best thing. I appreciate that. Thanks for watching us. Forging Views. Was anyone else disappointed expecting to see Black Manta to steal the show and then he just didn't?
Yeah.
Yes. When in the trailer there's a moment where like, he blasts the bell tower and Mera jumps or whatever, or Aquaman jumps. I don't remember who jumps in the trailer. It doesn't matter.
Everybody's jumping.
Everybody's jumping and splashing. But like, I was like, this is going to be cool. Black Manta's going to be really cool. Yeah. And you know what? Objectively speaking, he was. There's nothing I can say that was not cool about what Black Manta did or said. I just didn't have it. Didn't feel it.
Okay.
But maybe he'll do it in the next one.
I think he will.
I hope so.
And he looked good doing it regardless of what you think.
It just his helmet was too shiny. All right. Bernadette Edwards says, Tiff rocking the Sailor Jupiter shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hector Esparza, hello! Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Too. Just had to say that kissing scene will make a great poster or statue. Also a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it's just war and explosions, and they're like, nah, that's totally cool. Mr. Roboto, second movie you think will be better, Panther. Oh, second movie you think will be better, Black Panther or Aquaman, and do you think Black Manta is still a civil rights leader? No, I don't think Black Manta is a civil rights leader.
No.
And I think Black Panther 2 will be better.
Yeah.
I just do.
Well, again, they're two different movie feels.
They are two different movie feels.
Very different movie feels.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to say on that one. I think Aquaman 2 will be a lot of fun, as long as they don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Right. They don't go, like, all in. They don't think they can do no wrong, and then he is riding dolphins and seahorses and stuff. Like, let's go in the other direction. Honestly, I don't know, because I have exactly as much enthusiasm for Black Panther as I do Aquaman. Like, I had exactly the same experience in the theater. I'm like, this is really fun. I'm having a fun time.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a very different experience.
I know.
I was like, Aquaman, I'm like, yep, this is action. Yep,
literally,
cool.
I was just like, this is a really fun
Black
movie.
Panther, I was like, this is amazing. This is really cool. This is cooler than me.
That's true. I did have a couple moments where
I was just like, yep.
There were a couple moments where I was watching Aquaman where I was like, Jason Momoa would never hang out with me. Like, that was kind of like the limit of the Black Panther experience.
He might.
No.
This was like a cool guy.
He would not be.
He might.
He is very cool.
He's welcome on the couch anytime. You can just cram in there.
Seriously. He and Ethan would just pound him back. They play wizard staff.
Ethan would be in a lot of trouble.
I don't know.
That's true.
He's a little guy, but he's got the power.
Yeah.
Sam Anderson, this movie requires comic book logic. If you Ethaned your way through it, probably not going to like it. Just wanted to use Ethan as a verb. I appreciate it. I'm sure he does too. I feel like Ethan does like those movies. Like, Ethan loves action movies.
He'll have a good time watching them, and then if you have a conversation with
him
about
then
it,
he'll talk about it. But it doesn't like ruin it. He already had those thoughts.
Yeah.
And like, you'll see if he like, if he's willing to forgo them if he enjoys the rest of the movie.
Yes.
Gorgonfish says, how about Aquaman Wonder Woman movie versus Poseidon? Hey, how about it?
That's crazy.
That's exactly what we suggested. How cool. Great minds think alike, my friend.
Yes.
Eric says, hey, Sal and Tiff, you guys rock, and I love your channel and shows. Well, thank you very much, man. You rock too, and thank you for liking us. Jack O'Connell, that's funny. I'm actually studying marine science in college, apropos Tiffany's marine biology thing.
That's cool.
Good for you.
That's cool. I just didn't think I could do it. It was the math. It always comes down to the math.
I wanted to be a scientist because of Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Math.
Ruined that.
Math is like dream killer.
Yeah. Really is. Cam says, is it safe to say the third act of this movie is probably the best third act in any DC movie, let alone any DCEU movie? It's just pure fun and spectacle. Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is pure fun and spectacle.
It beats Wonder Woman, Justice League, Man of Steel. I think people would argue with the Man of Steel one because people have a visceral emotional reaction to Zod.
Okay.
And what happened.
Okay.
And that informs their love of the DCEU as a result.
Okay.
So I would say there's going to be two camps: people who love the Aquaman ending and the Man of Steel ending more.
Sure.
Also, King Crab is insensitive. Call him Sebastian. Bernadette Edwards says enslaved whales equals electric cars and clean energy.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. They're not polluting. I feel like I didn't see any exhaust or any or junk come out of those other cars.
Fueled on?
I assume it's just propellant.
Just hope and
no, I assume it's just they just what
are they pedaling it?
Yeah, it's like a paddle boat. The Red Samurai says the CW Aquaman show was the reason Aquaman and Black Manta were not allowed in the last season of Justice League Unlimited. Same thing with Batman supporting characters and villains because of the Batman. Yep. The weird self-imposed embargoes. I don't get it. I don't know why DC does that. I think they think that we're dumb, but I think they're letting it go.
Yeah.
Finally. Too little too late because we never got Batman and Teen Titans.
Yeah.
We never got Teen Titans Robin on Justice League. What a waste.
That is a shame.
St. Luigi, what do you think about Orm and his mom? I love it. I thought it was nice.
I thought it was nice, but again, I think if we had seen his relationship a little bit with his father, it would have had a little more punch.
Yes. I also think that, I was expecting him to kill her at the end.
Really?
Yes.
I was not.
I thought we were going to get a Dogma moment.
Oh, no. I was like, there's no way they're not ending this with her arriving on the dock. They've been hitting that
I knew. Oh,
way
that's
too
right.
much.
I thought it'd be sad. It'd be sad if she wasn't there. She could have been.
And what, her body just flops up on the dock?
No, just that it just ends with just a slow pull out of him just waiting.
No, there's no way they were doing that. No.
LKM Cherokee says, how about a Drowned Earth movie? Dude, that's Justice League 2. Which they wouldn't call Justice League 2. They just call Justice League Drowned Earth. But they're like, Aquaman's the one that gets the $1 billion. We gotta do the Aquaman Justice League movie. Because they can't do Throne of Atlantis. That's basically what this was.
Yeah.
And Heartless Fang says, Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year
to you. I can't wait for Tiff to talk about DC Magic stuff and upcoming back issues. Me too. If you watch our Instagram.com/ComicPOP official, you'll see what he's talking about.
That was so unexpected.
It was completely unexpected.
Unexpected back issues.
Yeah. So... we'll give you a few minutes of talking about comics.
Yeah, let's do it.
To do it.
Here we go.
Detective Comics number 995 came out.
Yeah, I read it.
I did too. What'd you think?
I thought it was really fun.
I loved it as well.
I actually really, really enjoyed it. As sad as it was
very sad.
I thought it was really well handled.
I thought it was very apropos because, Joel and I talked about character deaths in our most recent Elseworlds exchange.
Okay.
And how I'm like, you really need to have a moratorium, no pun intended, on character deaths. Don't just kill people for no reason. They kill a major supporting Batman character in Detective Comics 995.
Yep.
And it was earned, and I loved it, and I was really sad.
Yeah, and there was honestly a moment in there where it's almost the abyss.
Yes.
But it doesn't end the same way.
No, it does not.
And I was like, wow.
Yes.
Kind of incredible.
It was incredible.
And I gotta tell you, there is a slight bit of humor in this, but I think it's handled really well and with respect.
Agreed. At the end?
Okay, with Alfred?
With Alfred, yeah. A rapier?
Well, no, I meant the, I think I responded to this a lot faster than you do. I was like, that's really funny.
That's
and
Alfred.
It, kind of gives you that moment of lightness.
Yeah.
It's just really, I really enjoyed this.
I agree.
Issue.
And I think they did the character death to establish tension about what happened to Alfred.
Sure.
I loved it. I just thought I think it's a great return to form Batman stuff. Mm-hmm. This is the book. If you dropped off Batman, which I know some of you did, and you're looking for more Batman, and you're looking for Batman to feel like Batman, read Detective. Plus, it'll move on to the Detective 1000 celebration, which I hope is really good. I can't imagine if they'd screw this up.
Right.
If they do, like, then all your suspicions about DC are correct. I read some of Fantastic Four #5. I didn't get a chance to actually go through it all, but I was enjoying.
From last week or this?
It was from last week, so.
Or like a week before that?
Yeah,
okay.
actually. The Thing and Alicia get married. It's nice.
Okay.
It's well written.
Cool.
It's fun. Nice little vignettes.
Right.
But solid. Marriage and comics. Keep it going.
Yeah. Well, speaking of marriage and comics, I read Mr. and Mrs. X number 7. I don't have my stuff with me because I wasn't sure what we were doing. Still a lot of fun. Art is it's cool. There was like a couple of moments with the art where I was just kind of like, I don't know. It was like a little. It was either great or like there were some weird proportion issues.
Right.
But they're doing something really clever using Mojo.
Yes, you hate Mojo, and I was excited to see what happened.
Mojo.
Just because you think he's gross.
He is gross. I just don't like him.
Right.
But he basically he's like, well, we need ratings, and like superhero marriages are in, and like so we gotta do this, and like we polled like people, and like Gambit and Rogue are like number 6 and 8, so like we gotta make this work, and so like he throws them. He has like a big wheel, and he puts them into like a noir setting.
Okay,
and it's like not even noir, and they make a moonlighting reference to a thing that nobody would even remember or know about.
Yeah, who is this for?
Unless you had a mom who was like obsessed with Bruce Willis. But like, so they make that reference, and then Rogue kills Gambit.
Oh.
And Mojo recasts him.
What?
So we'll see how that goes.
Oh my god. That's awesome.
But like, they're doing that thing where like in the Mojo world, they're not married in the noir story. And
okay.
So like, they're doing like.
Yeah, they're doing a story where it's like a femme fatale.
Or it's kind of like, oh, see, we can't tell stories about like married super, you know what I mean? It's just like, haha, you're fine, yes you can.
All right.
I also read, because I don't have a lot to say about this, just real quick, I'm just going to say, I actually read The Man Without Fear.
Yeah, I skipped it because I was like,
1,
I don't need to buy another stopgap series.
Art's fine. I think this issue is totally lost on a person who isn't as familiar with Daredevil's history. Mm-hmm. This issue was kind of lost on me, but I definitely appreciated a lot of the visuals and like seemingly this like dichotomy that they're setting up. And, like, this warring, like, factions going on in Matt's head.
Yes.
And, like, that's kind of cool.
It's classic Daredevil.
And there's, like, this really cool-looking version of him, like, or as Daredevil, in a sense. There's 2 versions of it.
Right.
One is, like, it's his suit, but it's made out of muscle.
Ooh.
Like, he has no skin, but he has
that's
face.
him. Okay.
And then there's another version of him. And those are the 2 warring factions. That's a skeleton wearing, like, the yellow suit.
Ooh.
And it's, like, it's really, like, it's kind of cool.
It's cool.
kind of cool.
All right.
And this he's in a coma.
Yes.
So, a lot of fun, I think. But again, there's a lot of, like, poignancy and importance. And I realized this around the point where they got to, like, Matt's essentially in his brain going through the various versions of Daredevil as like something's kind of trying to kill them off.
Right.
And like one of them's like the Beast and stuff like that. And I'm like, if I had more background, this would mean a lot more potentially, and I don't.
That's cool.
But I still wanted to read it and I checked it out.
Nice.
So
you also read Conan.
I read Conan!
I bought Conan and then didn't get a chance to read it.
I read your Conan!
You read my version of Conan?
I took your Conan and I read it.
Nice. Well, how is Conan at Marvel again?
Oh, it is great. I was gonna try to make a joke. It's great. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. I don't read Conan.
Well, now's the time to start.
Conan is for me. It's written by Jason Aaron. Aaron has been training for this with Thor, with Strange.
Yeah.
He's writing Conan, and it's like so good.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, like, here's the thing. I bet the Bard would have a field day with this and probably wouldn't enjoy it all that much.
Probably not.
But you know what? This book is awesome.
Yeah.
It's the life and death of Conan. It's what he's doing with Thor. It's parts of his life.
Yeah.
We get a young adventure with Conan that sets up an adventure that King Conan's having because we're going to see the death of Conan.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's cool.
That is cool.
There's a witch in this who
gotta
he
be.
totally bangs.
That's
and
like the Conan movie.
And then she like turns into Mum-Ra, basically.
Yeah, okay.
And like she's evil, and it's just really awesome. And Conan gets to be that like masculine, muscular, like badass guy. And like
Cimmerian warrior.
It's just
Cimmerian, yeah.
so much fun.
There's a beautiful like collage
Yes.
made of old art
Yep.
from the old Marvel Conan
Yeah.
series, which I thought was really cool.
Yep.
That's as far as I got. And I'm like, I gotta go.
And the book looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It looks great.
Who does it?
I don't know how to say that name.
Mahmoud Ezrar?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I'll let you
great.
take that. Conan.
The Adventurer.
It's just, I'm in on Conan.
Actually, it's called The Barbarian, but that's
know.
really cool.
I am
good.
so all about Conan.
If you ever thought, like, Marvel, they're pulling their punches, no more, like, hardcore stuff. No, here's Conan. We also read Heroes in Crisis, which was, what would you think of Heroes in Crisis?
It felt like that part of a Sir Arthur Conan Doyle book where we then reveal the rest of the plot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's the rest of the thing you didn't know was happening.
Yep.
That we all knew was happening.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
The art is fine, if not exploitative.
Yeah, it was weird because, like, I'd really been enjoying the art. I didn't even see who did it. Is it the same?
It's Clayman.
It was bizarre, and I'm not even talking necessarily about the Batgirl stuff.
Oh, okay.
But
That's what I'm talking about.
But a lot of the females, for some reason, when you see them full body and they're not, like, kicking or in action, are standing on their toes. Which I thought was weird.
That is weird.
See?
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of bizarre. I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't necessarily bother me one way or the other, but I was kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
You've done that.
Right. Ultimately, I hate this series, and I can't wait for it to be over. It's too bad. There are some, like, okay, they keep throwing these things I love seeing, like file photos of key traumatic moments from the DC universe on these characters.
Yeah.
Like the most recent one was Aquaman losing his hand, and I'm like, this is a really cool idea. I hope someone else gets to use it someday. Because they're not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
These could be covers. Like, Batman getting his back broken. Oh, no, let's go into that. Each issue is like an exploration of that thing. No, we don't see that at all. From what I could tell, there's actually no references to any of these in any way. Like, even the concept of the photo being like, we're looking back at things that happened in comics you've read through a lens of this premise. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because that's a really cool idea.
I will say one more thing about the art. The butts are really emphasized.
Oh, yeah, everyone's Sir Mix-a-Lot would be a very big fan of this book.
Yeah.
It's a dated reference, but it's still...
Lots of butts.
Lots of big butts. And like, hey, no complaints. I'm just saying. Like,
it was just funny. I was just like, did I just not notice this in the other issues?
Yeah. I don't think he's had an opportunity.
Been there.
No, it just hasn't been there.
Okay.
There just hasn't been an opportunity to see so many, like, hot babes all in one book. Especially hot babes that are showing you where a bullet entered their body.
The butt that I always think of, honestly, is Harley Quinn's.
Yes.
When they're hugging.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's like there's so much shine.
Look at these chicks hugging.
It's a lot of shine.
It's hot.
But regardless of that, like, the reveal that it's all being recorded, I was like, yeah, we saw that coming a mile away.
Know.
But at the same time, it was kind of like, they were like, well, we kind of dealt with one part of this mystery, so here's the other part.
Yeah. Also,
we can't do these simultaneously.
the ending is an homage to Watchmen. Fuck you. That's all I can say about that. So, Heroes in Crisis, can't wait for it to end.
But Conan! No.
Conan's pretty cool. We also have some recommendations for books that are coming out this week that I think you should pick up.
And just real quick, I didn't get a chance to finish
please.
it, but I haven't finished it, but I want to really point that out. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really enjoying Wolverine the Long Night, which I know is a comic book adaptation of this podcast. I totally missed, so I don't know anything that happened in it, but like the first several pages that I've read, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I listened to some of the podcasts, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like, uh-oh, YouTubers. Watch out. If Marvel starts making their own podcasts, who knows? But, yeah. So I'm recommending a couple of books that come out this week. Adventure Super Sons, number 6, from Peter J. Tomasi and Dan Mora, and Scott Godlewski. Super Sons, keep reading it. This is halfway point this is the halfway point till the end.
Okay.
Super Sons is going to end at 12, and as long as Bendis is working for DC, John will be a teenager. So this is the end of Super Sons.
Oh.
speaking of Bendis, Young Justice #1 comes out.
Oh, okay.
If you have been waiting for Tim Drake to be Robin and not have 2 stupid R's, then this is the book for you.
Okay.
It is for me. I saw a lot of people complaining about it because, like, they're like, "Ugh, can Tim ever be anything other than Robin?" And I'm like, "What? They retconned him to have never been Robin." What are you talking about? Like, he has never been Robin according to the new continuity. He has always been Red Robin, the dumbest name in DC Comics history. And yes, I'm talking about people like Arm Fall Off Boy and anyone from the Legion of Superheroes. I'm interested because Bendis likes this, so he's going to put a lot of effort into it.
Right.
And who knows? You know, Patrick Gleason's art looks really fun, and Amethyst is going to be in it.
That's kind of cool.
Gemworld invades. Uh-oh. What's going to happen now?
It's Gemworld.
I'm also going to check out Captain Marvel #1 from Kelly Thompson. I read The Life of Captain Marvel, and I hated it so much. And I was so excited to give it a try, because I'm like, one of these days they're going to write a book about Carol Danvers that I'm going to like. Maybe it'll be this one.
Okay.
I hope it is, because there's a movie coming with you know, and you better have a book out for her.
Right.
So, and Kelly Thompson is a good writer and does that Mr. and Mrs. X books you like so much.
Yes.
So,
yeah, no, it's true.
And
it's absolutely true.
Tom Taylor is doing a book called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And I am checking it out. I hope it's good. It's Tom Taylor, so how could it not be?
Right?
But I've been wrong before.
For me, this week, The Dreaming #5 comes out. So if you've been following The Dreaming, you can pick that up. Written by Simon Spurrier and art by Bilquis Evely and Abigail Larson.
Yes.
I was trying to remember that. I just did a video of that for DC fans.
Yeah, if you want to see a full review of it, you'll see it on DC
You'll
Fans.
be able to see that. Yeah, it's setting up big changes in the realm of Dream.
Oh, yeah.
And I can tell you that outright. That's not even like I'm reading a preview. I'm telling you that's what happens.
Yeah, big changes. And maybe later you can do your own review of it that has no connection to DC.
Right? Who knows? Who knows what'll happen? From the world of Image, a lot of stuff's coming out. Those who know Prodigy #2 is coming out, so you can look for that. Mm-hmm. I said I would give it another shot, so I will do that if I have the time to do so. Based on the number of books that are coming out.
Right.
But Die #2 is coming out.
Yes.
I really like Die #1.
Do you know how hard it was to find a copy?
I know.
I went to 4 different comic book stores to get you a copy of Die #1. Everyone was like, "You mean die, die, die?" I'm like, "No, just one die."
Just the singular die.
And then this guy made a friggin' like dice reference at me, and I'm like, "Just sell me the comic."
Right. Well, I mean, like that's what it's about, though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, it's about like that's.
I didn't either.
That's a part of it. That's how, like there's these magical dice that bring these people into this world. It's
I remember you
it's like
telling
a
me the
crazy
premise,
D&D version of Jumanji.
Yes, I remember you telling me.
It's real messed up.
That's cool.
So that's coming out. So I'm definitely gonna be picking that up. I thought that was really good. Thor #9 is coming out. So in the wake of not having another issue of Conan,
you can read Marvel Conan.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for these two to team up.
Oh my god. Just for that, they won't do it. It's just Aaron's like, I know what you're waiting for. It's not gonna happen.
There's a variant cover.
Well, variant covers lie.
There is a variant cover, Conan versus Marvel villains, and give it to me. And then also, if you enjoyed Man Without Fear, Fear #2 is actually coming out next week.
I know.
Or this
That's
week.
nuts.
So there you go.
Well, there you have it, everybody. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. And of course, we want to address the super chats really quick before we go. Mr. Roboto said, idea for Elseworlds, long form, short form, aka Kirkman. Oh, I'm sorry. And Cam said, Arthur is the Killmonger of Atlantis. That's an interesting, it's a hot take.
Yeah.
But that's a good thesis. So write it. And Mr. Roboto, idea for Elseworlds, long form, short form, aka a la Kirkman. Oh, okay. Like, Walking Dead and
versus...
Invincible, that kind of thing. We could do that. It's not a bad idea.
No, not at all.
We take our ideas from everybody, from all places.
Yeah.
But so thank you so much for hanging out with us. And of course, if you liked this review or you just liked our take on it, you can always see more here on ComicPOP. Go to the subscribe button, click it, and of course, click the bell to get notifications when we get updates. We're going to be slowing the releases so you can actually digest and enjoy each video that comes out here on this channel, because most videos that we release are about an hour long.
Yes.
So check that out. And of course, if you want to continue the conversation, you go to our Discord, which is located, a link or an invitation is found in the description below this video. So click that as well to go continue the chat with other members of the population. And if you want to help us out and keep the lights on here at ComicPOP, go to patreon.com/ComicPOP and get early access to back issues, which is out right now for everybody. Well, for Silver Age patrons. They're all broken up into like ages from comic books.
Nice.
But you can find out behind the scenes stuff, updates, and all kinds of other stuff. Also, a special podcast that's a spin-off series from Elseworlds Exchange you can only get on the Patreon.
Oh.
That's right.
Wow.
And it'll never be available anywhere else. So.
Wow.
There you go. Unless Patreon closes forever.
Who knows what you're talking about over there?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I title them. I do title them, so you can probably see a little bit of what it's all about. But check it out. But anyway, thank you very much, Danielle, in the chat for helping us out with the links. Click those, and we'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot for watching.
Bye, guys.